Happy Tuesday, everybody! What's happening? Throwing versus pitching, something that is near and dear to my heart. And so I want to first describe the difference and then second talk about which one you should prioritize as you look at your son's development, or if you're an athlete yourself, where you should be spending your time. So first let's define it. So throwing is going to be, how do you move? How efficiently do you work and function as an overhead thrower? Are you biomechanically sound? Do you use your body and all of the big muscle groups in a manner that's putting you in a position to be able to throw hard and throw safe? Safe is a relative term because throwing a baseball is inherently very dangerous, so there's never going to be a foolproof way to say, oh, if you throw this way, you're never going to get hurt. Anybody that tells you that, that's a lie. Your shoulder is rotating at 9,000 degrees internally per second when you're an elite thrower, which is the fastest thing that happens in sports. So you're never going to be a totally safe thrower. But how efficiently do you move? Does it look pretty? Does it pass the eye test to the best of your ability? I don't believe that everybody's built to throw the same way, but I do think that everybody's got their own ideal technique. And then, of course, the big test is the velocity test, because if it looks good, if it's safe, but there's no velocity, well, what's the point of that? So that would be the throwing side, all of that. The pitching side would be this: how well are you able to effectively execute in game? How well, you talk about pitchability, scouts talk about pitchability. Are you able to mix up speeds, fastball, curveball, changeup, move the fastball inside, outside? How effective are you at being able to hold the runners? How effective are you at being able to field your position? How effective are you at being able to understand and decipher situation by situation what that moment's going to call for? And so a lot of times we screw up because we prioritize the pitching side before the throwing side. Case in point, 10-year-old kid, if you're throwing 4 different pitches, you're focused on the wrong thing. Really, if you're a 10-year-old kid and you're throwing any more than 2 pitches, in my mind, you're focused on the wrong thing. Because if you don't become, this is Ron Wolforth, Texas Baseball Ranch right here, if you don't become a prolific thrower, meaning if you're not efficient, if you're not dynamic, if you're not throwing cheese and looking good doing it relatively, then you have no business focusing on the pitching part. Again, that's if you want to play at a high level. Because whether or not you're a pitcher or a position player, having an arm is a weapon, it's an asset. It gives you more opportunities to get out into the field, even if you're in a slump, even if you don't run as well. When you've got a hose for an arm, a type of arm that somebody walks by one time and sees the arm and goes, whoa, that's going to buy you opportunities. And so don't make the mistake, don't fall into the trap of wanting to win the trophy when you're 10, 11, 12. Instead, be mindful of the long-term goal here, which is to move in a way that is explosive, dynamic, and as healthy as possible. Repeat it, ingrain the technique, and then you worry about the pitching part of it. Because if you try to do the opposite, you're going to end up like I did. 18 years old, topping out at 78 miles an hour, and then you've got to try to intervene if you want to play at the next level. At that point, there's much more of a demand on strikes. And yes, command will go awry a little bit when you start to focus on the throwing part of it. That's part of the process. You're never going to learn how to command 95 miles an hour on the mound pitching until you can throw 95 miles an hour first. So please like, share, ask questions. Appreciate the time. Everybody have a fantastic day.